All right, I think I'm finally live. Took a second, but I think I'm here. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay, everybody, if you are watching live. Here, check this. Come on, let's go. All right, so today we are diving into chapter 2 of The Science of Getting Rich. And chapter 2 is all about the fact that there is indeed a science to getting rich. Did you know that? I didn't know that before I found this book. Okay. So that's really cool to know. And if you've had a chance to go through the chapter as I have been able to do, and let me know. Comment, let me know your feedback on it. What was your biggest takeaway from chapter 2? Because I would love to continue the conversation even beyond the video, okay? And beyond this uh, time that we're spending on this particular book, okay? So, getting my notes out. One thing, like I said, a lot of people don't realize, including myself, I didn't realize until the first time I read this, that there is a science to getting rich. It is an exact science. It's just like algebra, which I love. When he said that, I was like, Wallace, I'm in. Okay. So just like algebra or arithmetic, there are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches. There are laws, and you got to think about this, because everything on this planet, everything in the whole universe, right? One thing affects another thing, right? We have the tides. The tides roll in because of the moon, right? The moon ain't here, right? We have gravity, things that we can't see and things that we don't understand fully, but it doesn't change the fact that it's working. Okay, so it's the same thing with this. You may not fully understand all the intricate details of, riches and how to acquire it, and a lot of things that you may even see in this book. But one thing I can tell you, for those of you who are reading this book for the first time, I've read this a few times, and I can tell you that this is very practical. Thank you very much. I need this today. But it's a very practical, very simplistic book. I mean, you can't really get it broken down much more than this. Like, this is a big deal. So give me just 1 second. Oops. Right. Okay. I have to take some of these notes down. Pow pow. So this is always fun. Sorry, you guys. Give me just a second, because if I don't get it done, it's going to drive me nuts. Boom. Okay. Awesome. So let me just check in here. Okay, cool. So I think everything is up and running at this point, which is awesome. Great. Thing. So if you're catching the replay, obviously you could have skipped through that little bit of stuff where I had to stop for a second. But this is so cool. The fact that, now you can no longer make the excuse that, only certain people can make money, or that you just have to get lucky to be rich. Nope, can't use that excuse anymore, folks. Okay, there's so much more to it. Okay. All right. Just kind of checking the comments there. Okay, cool. Oh, that was good. All right. So, he goes on to talk about the fact that having money, it's all about doing things in a certain way, whether you're doing it on purpose or by accident. So the law is the law is the law. Whether you realize you are following the law or not, whatever actions you take, you are going to get the results of those actions, the consequences of those actions. So if you are following some of these laws to getting rich and you don't even realize you are, that's where these riches are coming from. What? So, for those of you that are thinking, okay, well, a person is getting rich because of luck. It's not luck. It's just that they don't realize they're following these laws. So they'll remain poor no matter how hard they work and no matter how able they are. Right? You've seen tons of hardworking people. Perhaps your parents were hardworking people. Maybe you are a hardworking person. Maybe everybody you know works hard, but how many of those hardworking people are rich? As a matter of fact, most of the lower and middle class are hardworking people, right? They're all hard workers, and yet they're struggling. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Why is that? If they're working so hard, we have been told since, I don't know, we were probably like 3 or 4 years old when we first went to school. We're told that people that work hard get the best rewards. People that work hard are the ones that are going to make it out here in this country or in this world. That's a lie. It's not true. Because look around you. The proof is in the pudding. Okay, there are tons of people out here working hard every day, and yet they remain where they are, which is stuck in a life that they're not feeling wholly complete and full and just able to live life the way they want, live life to the fullest. So come on. Okay. All right. So he goes on to even share with you some facts. Okay. So for those of you that think that the reason why you ain't rich yet is because of where you are, debunked. Okay, wrong. And I love the way that Wallace put this. Check this out. He said, getting rich is not a matter of environment. For if it were, all the people in certain neighborhoods will become wealthy. All of them. Look, if it matters where you are, if all it takes for you to be rich is where you are, everybody would just go where that is. Like, duh, right? So he goes on to say the people of one city would all be rich while those of other towns would all be poor, or the inhabitants of one state would roll in wealth while those of an adjoining state would be in poverty. But we already know that that's not true, right? So he goes on to say everywhere you look, all over the world, in every country, in every state, in every town, you are seeing that the rich and the poor are living side by side in the same environment and often engage in the same vocations. What cracks me up is people are like, oh, maybe I should become a doctor because doctors are rich. Not all of them. Okay. The ones that are rich, the ones that are super wealthy are typically only about 3%, while the other 97%, while their paychecks may be great, they're still in lack and they're still struggling. And some of them are still living paycheck to paycheck. So that whole 97% of network marketers, I don't like those odds. That's everywhere. That's doctors, lawyers, teachers. That's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's 97% of people working hard. And then there's 3% of people that's working smart. And they're the ones that are rich. And this is why you need to know what this exact science is. This is why this book is so awesome. Okay. So, what else are you going to say? Okay. And then granted, some environments may be more favorable than others, but when two people in the same business, in the same neighborhood, one gets rich, the other one doesn't, guess what? That's an indication that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. Hello, somebody. Okay. All right. So hold on. I got to pull up, scroll down for some more of my notes. Okay. So we talked about that. So it's not ability, right? It's not environment, and it's also not ability. There are tons of talented people out here that are broke. They are not rich. Tons of talented people. All of us have a talent. That's another thing that you've got to remember. You have a talent. You have a gift, a God-given gift. You were born with this gift, and all you need to do, the reason why God planted that inside of you is so that you could use that as your purpose to be able to live your life in abundance and live it to the fullest. But the problem is most people are afraid. They've been conditioned to be afraid to tap into their potential power. And instead, they take the easy way out and simply follow directions their whole lives. They go and get jobs. They only do whatever the supervisor tells them, the manager tells them, the boss tells them, the company owner tells them. Right. And that's it. And that's easy. All I got to do is do what you say. You're going to give me money. Boom. Okay. And they continue for years and years and years, decades out of their lives. The best years of their lives are lived suppressing those dreams, suppressing that talent, suppressing that gift. And they wonder why they're under so much stress and they're on anxiety medication and they're feeling unfulfilled or people are depressed. That's why you're not really tapping into all it is that you have, those abilities. And here's another thing, just because you have the abilities though, because like I said, we all have abilities. We all have gifts. Just because you have them doesn't mean that that's an indication that you're going to be rich. You know, it's about using them in this certain way. Boy, y'all weren't ready for this. This is too awesome. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so Wattles goes on to say that studying the people who have gotten rich, we find that they are an average lot. And I'm sorry, we find that they are an average lot in all respects, having no greater talents and abilities than other men. It's evident that they do not get rich because they possess the talents and abilities, like I was just saying, okay, but because they happen to do things in a certain way. So getting rich is also not the result of saving or thrift. There are many penurious people, right? Penurious people who are poor, while free spenders often get rich, right? Look at the rich. They got more than enough to be able to continue spending. They don't get rich and then save all the riches. They spend it, they invest it, they donate it, right? You can't donate if you're poor and you're worried about how you're going to be able to stay in your house because you can't afford the mortgage. You ain't think about donating to nobody, okay? Right? Hello. Okay. So it's not about saving. It's not just about saving. Yes, saving is important. Please don't get me wrong. Saving is definitely important. It is something that you want to do. But people are getting told every single day that you need to save. If you want to get rich, you're going to need to save. Take all your money, put it away in a CD, put it away in your savings. No. The return on putting your stuff in there, no. No. Okay. No. All right. There are other aspects besides saving that you're going to need to do, like follow these laws, okay? Follow this exact science, do these things in a certain way, and you will be able to get rich. He also goes on to say, like, this is great. I love this because all of these ideas that people have is getting debunked. Right? Total myths. These are total things that you have created in your mind to believe that this is why you aren't where you want it to be. You're finding ways to kind of justify why you're stuck, why you're not rich, that it's not meant for you and all this crap that's not true. Okay. And he goes on to say, you know, nor is getting rich due to doing things which others fail to do, because there are two men that could be in the same business who often do almost exactly the same things, and one gets rich while the other remains poor, or worse, becomes bankrupt, right? So check this out. I see this inside of the internet marketing, network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, whatever it is you want to call it. I'm just put it under the umbrella of network marketing. Okay. I see this in the network marketing field all the time. All the time. There are people who get started in the same company as a top leader that they've seen out here online. They will do the same things that this person is doing, or at least they think they do. They call it duplication. we got to do duplication, right? They'll show you all these things. You will do the same thing that that person does, and that person continues to get rich, and you remain poor. You put in the same amount of money that that person did to get started. You're doing the same duplicatable steps that they showed that person how to do, and yet you still have not hit these multiple six figures everybody keeps talking about. Why? What is that about? So it's not a matter of you doing the things that other people fail to do, because you could be in that business and somebody else could be in that business and that person ain't doing a daggone thing, and you say, I'm going to do that which they fail to do, and you still in the same boat that they are, broke. Whoa, why? It's because you're not doing things in a certain way. Now, that sounds like a bummer, but the great news is you can change all that. You can learn the certain way, and then you can start to incorporate it into your life, and then boom, you're good to go. I like it. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so now let's see, where are we? Okay, so from all these things, we must come to the conclusion, like there's no other choice but to come to the conclusion that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. And if getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way, and if like causes always produce like effects, then any man or woman who can do things in that way can become rich. And the whole matter is brought within the domain of exact science. So check this out. Just as easy as you can learn 1 + 1 is 2, right? If you found out that the reason why somebody's rich is because they know 1 + 1 is 2, and now you've discovered 1 + 1 is 2, what would that mean? That would mean you would get rich too. Now, obviously, that's not what it takes for you to get rich. It's just knowing 1 + 1 is 2. But I'm just saying it's the same type of concept when it comes to learning things in a certain way. It is a science, just like arithmetic, just like he said earlier in the chapter. Okay, so that's a great thing to know. All you need to do is know how to follow this exact science. Child, I'm done. Okay, so, this is the cool thing about it. Even if, like, your location doesn't matter, your current circumstances doesn't matter, your past doesn't matter. Stop bringing all that baggage with you. Forget what happened in the past. Start today learning the certain way, and you will be able to create the life that you wanted to have. Because the life that you want to have obviously requires more than just smiles and hugs. Hello. If that was all it took for you to live the life that you want to live, nobody would need any money. There would never be a necessity for an exchange of goods or an exchange of anything. If you could just live life solely by yourself without having to have relationships, without having to take care of your body, without having to take care of your mind, without needing any money to do those things, then this book would have never needed to get made. Okay. And we talked about that in the first chapter. So you had to go back and watch that one. But anyway, let's continue on, right? So he says the question arises here, whether this certain way is difficult. Is this going to be something that only a select few could ever learn? Is it something mystical and magical? Is it something too complicated for me to understand? No, because look around you. And I love the way he puts it. So I'm going back into the book. Okay, check this out. Look, Wallace said this. Don't nobody get mad at me. I'm just saying Wallace said it. Okay, and he did. So I don't know why you're gonna get mad, because you can't do nothing about it. Okay. But anyway, so he said the question arises here whether this certain way may not be so difficult that only a few may follow it. This cannot be true, as we have seen, so far as natural ability is concerned, because talented people get rich and blockheads get rich. Intellectually brilliant people get rich and very stupid people get rich. Physically strong people get rich and weakly and sickly people get rich. Okay. Now, of course, some degree of an ability to think and understand is going to be necessary, right? That's going to be essential. But insofar as natural ability is concerned, any man or woman who has sense enough to read and understand these words can certainly get rich. So anybody who can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth that I just read from this book, you can get rich. You can get rich. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you. You just need to do things in a certain way. So think about all the things that you've done, the certain, habits and behaviors that you have developed over the years of being alive. Whatever those things are that you're doing, if you're not rich, these are the things that you may want to stop doing. Maybe it's time for you to make a shift. You got to start up here in the mind. And that's what this book is for, to introduce to you new thoughts, new ideas, and that's exact science that is called the certain way. So uproot all of those old self-limiting negative beliefs about yourself, about life, about your circumstances. Get rid of those things so that you have space. Let those things go so your hands can be open to receive what's coming through this book. Okay, and our discussions together. All right. So then he goes on to say, let's see. Yes, anybody who can understand that can certainly get rich. Also, we have seen that it's not a matter of environment. Location counts for something. We would not go into the heart of the Sahara and expect to do a successful business, right? Because here's something else. Network marketers in particular, are y'all hearing me? Hello, right? I coach you guys on a regular basis. Y'all know the deal. I want you to hear this part that I'm getting ready to read from the book, this little excerpt, okay? Getting rich involves the necessity of dealing with men, with people, right? And of being where there are people to deal with. Getting rich in your business online, right? It involves dealing with people. I cannot tell you how many folks, myself included, when I first got started, only want to put out a post, hide behind the post, and hope the post is going to draw people to them and the people will buy. What people? What's your target audience? Who are you trying to attract? People like you, right? Who are you? They don't know that. You're going to have to start interacting with folks. That's how riches circulate. We are all here on this planet for a reason. There's a reason why there are billions of us on the planet at the same time. Whoa. Okay. So let me see something. Okay, cool. So, whoops. Okay. So he says, being where there are people to deal with, and if these people are inclined to deal in the way that you want to deal, so much the better. But that's about as far as the environment goes. And the thing about having your online business is the fact that you are available globally. You're able to reach the entire world at this point. When you're on social media, right? Facebook alone has 2 billion active people on it. That's what, a good almost 20% of the whole population of the earth is there. There's no lack. There's no scarcity. There's plenty of folks that want your stuff, plenty of folks that want to engage with you. And like he says, deal in the way that you want to deal. You've got to believe that. You got to stop thinking, oh my God, the market's oversaturated. I can't do anything. Thinking like that is going to cause you instantly to not get rich. He says, if anybody else in your town can get rich, so can you. And if anybody else in your state can get rich, so can you. So again, it is not a matter of choosing some particular business or profession. Again, online marketers, hello. If you join a company and you're not having success, it is not the company's fault. That does not mean it's time for you to go join another business and play, MLM hopscotch. Stop. I was just talking about this earlier today. I feel like I've been talking about it all morning on social media. Stop playing hopscotch. Stop hopping from leader to leader. Stop hopping from, company to company. It's not that, because anywhere you are is where success is too. Anywhere. But if you don't tap into that inner success, you will never have it be manifested in your life. It's not about which business you're in. Anywhere you go, you can be successful, right? You guys know about the mythology and the Midas touch. You know about the story of Joseph in the Bible. Hello. Every time somebody was trying to bring him down, he always came out on top. Literally, right? How is that? How is that to be? It's not any particular location. It's not any particular business. You could have success right now in the company that you're in, even if you've been in that company for 3, 4, 5 years, 7 years, and haven't had the success that you wanted. If you start today to make a decision that you are going to learn the certain way, you will get rich there. And then even if you decide to leave and you go somewhere else, you'll get rich there, and you'll get rich in the next place, and the next place. Have you ever noticed that about the top leaders that you see? You're like, wait a minute. I saw them a couple years ago over in this company over here, and they were a top earner there, and now they over here, and I'm seeing they just ranked up again. Things like that. It's because they know the certain way. They know that success lies within. They know that there's no outward source of a place to go where success exists. And that's the problem with people thinking that you have to be in a certain environment or you have to have certain circumstances in order to be rich. In the company that you're already in. Okay. And he goes on to say, people get rich in every business and in every profession, while their next door neighbors in the same vocation, in the same business, in the same profession remain in poverty. The exercise of those talents. Also, you'll do best in a business which is suited to your locality. Like an ice cream parlor would do better in a warm climate like Florida than it would in Greenland, right? So things like that. He goes on to say, but aside from these general limitations, getting rich is not dependent upon your engaging in some particular business, but upon you learning to do things in a certain way. All right. So if you're in Grapey Grape Company and you only made $50 in 3 years, guess what? Learn the certain way and you will be able to finally get the results that you want. Very simple. You don't have to leave Grapey Grape. I don't know. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else are we talking about? My notes here. Yes, if you are now in business and if there's anybody else in the business that you're in right now who was able to get rich, you can too. Okay. And it's simply, what does he say? If you're now in business, anybody else in your locality is getting rich in the same business while you're not, it's because you're not doing things in the same way that the other person is doing them. Also, oh Lord, everybody take a deep breath because this is going to knock some people off their feet. This is really going to hit hard for some people. Let me take a sip. I think we need to do this. Y'all ready for this? I don't know if you're ready. Wallace Wattles also goes on to say that no one, absolutely no one, is prevented from getting rich by a lack of capital. What? So all these people out here talking about, I don't have the money to get started. I don't have the money for my business. I don't have the money to join this company. I don't have the money to get this training. I don't have the money to work with this leader. I don't have the money to get these tools. Guess what? That still wouldn't prevent you from being able to get rich. What did I tell you? No more excuses. Everything's getting debunked. Okay. You get no more excuses with this, you guys. Okay. So true, as you get capital, the increase becomes more easy and rapid, but one who has capital is already rich and doesn't need to consider and think about and ponder how to become so. So no matter how poor you may be, if you begin to do things in a certain way, you will begin to get rich and you will begin to have capital. The getting of capital is part of the process of getting rich. And it's part of the result which invariably follows the doing of things in a certain way. You may be the poorest man on the continent, be deeply in debt, You may neither have friends, influence or resources, but if you begin to do things in this way, you must infallibly begin to get rich. For like causes must produce like effects. If you have no capital, you can get capital. If you're in the wrong business, you can get in the right business. If you're in the wrong location, you can go to the right location. You're not a tree, move. Okay. And you can do so by beginning in your present business, like I was just saying, right? In your present business, in your present location, to do things in the certain way which causes success. You got no excuses, y'all. Like, come on. Come on. Okay. All right. Like, for real. Now that whole money issue, y'all done with that? Y'all done talking about how you can't do stuff because you ain't got no money? Stop. This is how you get money. This is how you make a way. Learn the certain way and start following it. Okay. So you're not prevented from getting rich just because you don't have the funds. And as a matter of fact, I love how he puts it where he says, no matter how poor you may be, if you begin to do things in a certain way, you begin to get rich. Because I'm sure that there are people out here who started off in a worse situation than you. I don't care how bad your situation is, right? Like I have compassion for you if you're going through hard times, and I understand it. But especially in this country, in the United States of America, there are some really hard times that we're going through that somebody else in another part of the world would look at and say, what are you complaining about? You're rich. I don't even have half of what you have. I'm not even going through, like, you're not even going through half of what I'm going through. And you want to sit up there and cry? You get what I'm saying? Like, when he says, no matter how poor you may be, no matter how, how much lack of capital you have, you can get capital. That's one thing that I hope is bringing you hope, right? So I'm hoping everybody is paying attention to that. You can bust up out of this, right? It's not your location. If you're in the inner city or something, I don't know. Like, that is not the reason why you are not getting rich. If you don't have the money right now, that's not the reason why you're not getting rich. You can find a way to get money. And you can do it ethically and morally. And that's what you're going to learn in this book, right? So as we continue to read on, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about all the more discoveries that we are going to have. But this chapter right here was powerful, and I really love that. So anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and chatting with me today. Continue to put, any comments that you may have right here. I am going to keep coming back, seeing what's going on, what we talking about, and I'll be happy to share my insight on it as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 3. And chapter 3 is, great question. Chapter 3 is a question. Is opportunity monopolized? Boy. Oy, oy. Okay. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited for you that you are learning and discovering this stuff too. So this is really amazing. All right. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.